MatNum January 2025 part 2. Let's get into it. So last week we're doing the usual things and yeah, nothing much to say. Let's continue, and here's a new contact sheet. This one, it's a mix between Arguable as an insaturator and MEDCC as a film emulator, and I kind of liked it because it had this kind of old school vibe. Arguable tends to break apart the RGB signal, and MEDCC give it a really crunchy look, like low megapixel sensors. And here are two pictures that give a good indication of what it looks like. The one on the left is in Selfoss, southwest of Iceland. With a river, a frozen river, and this house at the end, just under this incredibly good-looking mountain under the snow. Anyways, I like the granularity. It looks really like one of those crappy digital cameras from the early century. Or on the right, this sort of figure in this shop I thought was interesting. I don't know, I kind of liked the result, so that's why I put it here. I thought the treatment was interesting, this virtual film for Vika, that's using Vika. The contact sheets are on Vika for now, so it was interesting. Or here, for those who've followed the videos, the serial videos where I work with normal cameras, traditional cameras, film or digital. This is a scene they've already seen. That's near the Reykjavik Airport, south of Reykjavik. I kind of like the bird, the full moon, and this lighthouse. I think the treatment works pretty well here, or simply this picture of the sky. I really liked it. The colors, the grain. Or here, more urban. That's in Manchester. On the left, that's in a bar. Again, I've done some more traditional photos, so you can really compare if you go see the videos. Usually, I put the timelines, so you should be able to find them. Or simply the street. I like the rendering, this kind of old video look. Yeah. Anyways, you had the QR code at the beginning with the contact sheet. Let's go back to using Camare and the random effects mode. Here, I liked what I saw of the Bay of Reykjavik. So it was interesting under the snow with the super wide angle. Or here, that's on the west side, looking south of Reykjavik. That's not the Reykjavik Bay, but it's lower. And the treatment. The first picture was Safrano. Here it's Cainspo, and Cainspo has this tendency to do those columns, which I do like. I think it's interesting, and was cut out of 200 above to get some grain, some extra grain. I do like the process, so I hope you will like it too. Keeping it monochromatic, black and white. The picture left and center are with Bowie as an insaturator. Different film emulators. The one on the left is a FJ Haps 400NX, while it's FG IX Mini in the middle picture. I thought it was interesting. Actually, the middle picture, if you look on the right, that's kind of the same picture through the experimental editor, but that's with Geo that tends to do those water shedding shapes. And the color is kept, but there's a RDBug Call 200 treatment to create the grain and create the more analog feel, more organic feel at the end. One more random program picture. That's at the Hafnatorg Contemporary Museum. It's one of the neighborhoods south of Reykjavik. That was the opening of a common photo exhibition. Really great works. I kind of liked that photo. It was just, I like those figures, people looking at photography, taking a picture of people that look at photographs. I like the picture. Nothing else to say. And the treatment. And here you have all the last 6 QR codes if you want to use them in your own apps and do some series. Again, Vika, Camare, Digital Pola, and Darkcam are compatible. Let's go back to a virtual contact sheet and virtual film. That's Semi and KD 100 used for that sheet. And I thought it was an interesting mix, interesting virtual emulsion, because it's kind of soft, as you can see here. And Semi tends to create those geometric ghost images on top, sort of duplicates some parts of the image with different
weird aspects. It's kind of ghosting in an interesting way. And this cat in the street, or this musician in Mengi. It's one of those contemporary conceptual experimental spaces where musicians of all type can play. I really liked how it creates something more soft than the reality. I think the musician was part of one of my serial videos for the month. You can compare. Or here simply sunset, end of the day, one of the neighborhoods in Reykjavik. Or this detail, I've talked about it previously. I like to take details of not trash, but stuff, human stuff that doesn't always look good. Definitely shouldn't be there and should be cleaned up. But sometimes it gives some weird looks like this. It feels like there's a blue sky and clouds in the middle of this moss field. A detail of Reykjavik, or simply, those mounds, that kind of iced snow mounds in the streets of Reykjavik, where you have weird textures after a few weeks of snow and pushing the snow out of the street. I think the rendering of this digital emulsion is nice. Again, on the left here, you only have the silhouette of this building. We don't really know what that is, but it's there, and it's and the sunset behind. Or this bar. In the first part of MatNum, I've shown you a picture of this bar. That's Yvette de Marseille in Geneva in the Eau Vive neighborhood. Very different rendering, and kind of like the way it does it. Or again, those two pictures, you'll find them in the first part using Camare and the experimental random filter construction. Here it's with this emulsion and very different rendering, way softer, of the Saint-Pierre Cathedral on the left, or simply one of those industrial neighborhoods that's transforming right now. That's south of the Arve River. That I thought was interesting. And maybe let's finish this second part, a little shorter episode for now. That's a detail of one of the hospitals in Reykjavik. Not very important per se, but we see sort of one of those robots' arms or whatever device in one of the windows on the left. But I thought it was very geometric, I liked the looks of it. And with this treatment, it makes it very punchy, and the textures, the lines, the details. It looks like a collage of different places. Here another treatment using the experimental editor of Camare. And I'm getting used to this tele lens of the iPhone 15 Pro, which I feel is too strong. It zooms too much in. But, well, let's get used to the tool I have until I create an interface to use the intermediary focal ranges in a more creative way that suits myself. And hopefully you too. And here a third treatment, which I find softer. The first one was Ribbon, the second DNAZ, and that's Safrano. And hopefully you'll use those QR codes. Here they are. And hopefully that was enjoyable. You've seen some interesting photos, and don't hesitate. Comments, suggestions, questions, don't hesitate. And catch you next time.